What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of the Sports Muse podcast. I am your host, Kevin Brumley. First things first, let me give a shout out to Clubhouse Cards. They are the ones that hooked me up with this memorabilia, these signs, or I shouldn't say signs, these framed jerseys that are autographed behind me, these helmets. They're the ones that hooked me up with it. Definitely check them out. They have a website. You can find their store in Pittsburgh, PA. Definitely give them some love. Check them out. They are also connected to my Instagram, which is at @the_sports_muse. So also check me out. But that brings me to my main point, which is my guest today. He is a quarterback who is part of the 2022 class. He plays for Long Beach Poly, which, we've seen Juju Smith-Schuster come out of there. We've seen Willie McGinnis. We've seen Jarrell Casey, and the list goes on and on and on. So this young man is, one of the best quarterbacks. He's kind of flying under the radar right now, but trust me, you're going to hear his name. So jump on the bandwagon now. My guest today is Shea KuyKendall. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a little bit of film and we're going to get right to it. In a perfect world as a quarterback, you would just drop back and let it go with a clean pocket. But sometimes you have to move your feet. Shea steps up in the pocket and rips it in between two defenders. Right here, he's going to put it where only his guy can make a play on the ball. And then he's going to make the same type of play right here. He sees the DB with his back turned and he puts it on the top shelf so the kids can't get it. Right here, he gets moved off his spot again but keeps his eyes down the field. It's tough to throw into the red zone, but he makes a perfect pass for a touchdown. In this particular play right here, I think this is his best pass on his film. That is a money ball, folks. All right, guys. Like I said, one of the best young quarterbacks in the game, part of the 2022 class from Long Beach Poly. I have Shea KuyKendall. Shea, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I can't complain. So I'm pumped that you came on the show. Like I said, I think you're somebody that's kind of flying under the radar. So I hope you start getting the love that you deserve because I do think you're a special talent, man. So let's start with this. Tell me about yourself.
Me as a football player, I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident in my play. But off the field, I'm very quiet. I wouldn't say quiet actually. I would say more calm. And it's just I have two different personalities when it comes to football and off the field.
And we see that all the time with like some of these athletes. Like the one that always jumps off the radar to me is Troy Polamalu, because on the field, man, he was a madman. He's running around with like his head's on fire, and then he gets off the field and he has a press conference and he's so soft spoken. So we see that a lot of times, man. Once you step on the gridiron, you just flip that switch.
Yeah, totally.
So I mentioned that, you're out in California, you're playing at Long Beach Poly. How cool is it to play on, that field with so many great, former players, current players? Like we're talking about, Juju, we're talking about Jarrell Casey, Willie McGinnis have all worn that same uniform as you. How cool is that to know that you're playing on that same field?
Yeah, it's really cool. You just think about all the tradition that has came through Long Beach Poly and that now you're part of that tradition, and it's really cool.
And absolutely. Have you guys had the chance, like, do any of the former players or current players come back and work with you guys at all?
Yeah, a lot.
Is there anybody that you've had the opportunity to work with?
Well, Willie's always there. Willie McGinnis, he's always up there.
Oh,
but
awesome.
Mercedes Lewis, he always has his camp every year. But obviously this year couldn't have it. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool one, man. And you talk about, like, success and what it takes to get to the mountaintop. Willie McGinnis is that guy.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, had a great long career. So, like, that's just so cool to sit back and listen to that kind of guy, talk. And because he knows what he's talking about. Like, it's one thing, for a good coach to talk, but, I remember being a player. I remember sitting there being like 16, 17, 18 years old. And I'm like, what's this guy actually know? But when you're looking at a guy, you're like, man, I used to watch you on TV. He knows his stuff. Tell me about your process going to the line of scrimmage. You're a quarterback. I truly, truly believe quarterback is the hardest position to play in any sport across the board. So tell me about, you call the play in the huddle or you're, calling it from the line. Tell me about your process. What are you looking at?
For say it's a pass play, first thing I'm looking at is the safeties. I want to find out if it's one high, two high, and then after that, I'm going eyes to the corner, seeing how deep back they're playing, because that also kind of determines if they're cover two, cover four, cover three, cover one, man. Like,
Sure.
and then pre-snap, it's really just like distancing and how far they're off or where they're at positioned on the field. And then once it's on snap, my eyes are first to the corner, because I already know how many safeties there are. So I just really need to watch what the corners are doing.
And absolutely, that makes sense. How much freedom do they give you at the line of scrimmage? Where if you see, let's say you have a called run play on, but you see the corners playing, 8 yards off on his heels, do you have that option to maybe throw a slant in there, or, maybe like a bubble? Do you have that freedom at the line?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's something that's difficult as a coach, to give to, what are you, 17 now?
16.
16, you're talking about a veteran coach that's giving you the keys to the car, being like, man, if you see something on the field, take it, it's difficult. And you have to have a ton of confidence in your quarterback to be able to give a 16-year-old that freedom at the line of scrimmage. So that shows what your coach thinks of you. Do you have a favorite route to throw?
Comebacks, for
You like
sure.
comebacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I see that you have pretty good ability to throw on the run. Now, like on a comeback, do you like to roll out to that side, or do you just like to stand in the pocket and let it go?
Just depends however I can throw it.
Okay. What do you think the most important part to playing quarterback is?
Definitely your football IQ, but football IQ and just mentally, because quarterback is a very mental position.
You're completely right, and it's one of those things where, like, you make a mistake, you have to have a short memory, because what I mean, if you throw a pick and you hold on to it, you're gonna be holding yourself back the rest of the game. So yeah, like you said, that football IQ, and you alluded to it earlier. You see one safety on the field, and that is, could be X amount of coverages. You see two safeties, that's a completely different ball game. If you see the corner playing, press with outside technique with two safeties high, you're probably thinking, oh, I got to cover two coming. So I know this corner squatting, I know that I have four verts. So, with only two back, I should have that advantage. So there's so much that has to be going on in your head pre-snap, during play, and that kind of stuff. So I completely agree with you. What do you think one of the most difficult routes to throw is?
Most difficult? Probably, I'd probably say a back shoulder on a fade.
And you know what, man, when you're saying that you have trouble throwing a back shoulder, like that's something that like college kids like can't do. You know what I mean? So when you're
Yeah.
like working on throwing back shoulder fades in high school, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
um, what are some of the drills you would recommend to a young quarterback?
So probably one I do a lot is there's 3 cones and they're all like at different angles, and you shuffle through and you keep your eyes and hips at each angle. So once you get to one cone, then you flip back to the other side. It's really just about keeping your hips and eyes pointed at the same direction at all times.
Ooh, I like that one. Anything else?
Probably shuffling. So there's a ladder and you shuffle, Icky shuffle through, and whenever you hear a clap, you hit a back step backwards and then set your feet and throw.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. So you're ready at any time to let the ball go. And it's funny you say that kind of stuff, because like you do see that on your film, that you work on that kind of stuff. And I would say, see if you agree with me, as a young quarterback, one of the most difficult things is, I'm sure when you were in junior high ball, your arm talent was probably better than what the defense could play. But once you start getting to high school and people get a little faster, a little bit stronger, if your hips aren't in the throw, then you're going to, float them, and they're going to be able to pick the pass off, and you're not going to get enough on it. So I think one of the hardest things for a young quarterback is just getting your hips involved and making sure your hips are, lined up with your eyes. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, totally.
I've seen that, you got offered from William and Mary. Has there been any other schools that have been, reaching out to you?
Yeah, a few of I've been reaching out and they've been reaching out back with a few of the Ivy Leagues.
Cool. Which ones?
Cornell, Columbia, Penn.
And that shows that not only on the football field you can perform, but in the classroom you also perform, which is a crucial part, man. You'd be surprised how many athletes, you see from time to time that have talent but can't get it on the field because they can't get their grades right. So clearly you're a hard worker on the field, hard worker off the field, which as a coach, I love to see. Who are some of the quarterbacks you like to study?
Definitely, no matter what, number one for me is Peyton Manning, but
Okay.
probably number two, I'd say Aaron Rodgers.
Which are two pretty stylistically different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Manning never had the natural talent Aaron Rodgers has. Aaron Rodgers might have the most live arm we've seen until Patrick Mahomes. But Peyton Manning was an assassin on the field. You make one mistake pre-snap, like you better roll your coverage with like 3 seconds left on the play clock, or else Peyton Manning's going to see it, decipher it, and pick you apart. Aaron Rodgers, the other dude who's just like back foot, falling down, guns at 55 yards, dime, So those are two awesome guys for you to study. Like I said, different, but just absolute greats at their position. And they're going to go down as, two of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game. Give me a dream school. What schools are you thinking about, would just be a dream come true for you?
For me, I'd say Stanford or any of the Ivy League schools, pretty much.
That's cool. So you do want to go Ivy League?
Yeah, I want to go to a good academic.
I like it, man. And what are you thinking about? I know you're young. You're going into your junior year. But what are you thinking about, what you might want to do as in college?
Oh, I have no clue. I have no clue.
Don't worry, man. I graduated high school and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. No, that's no problem at all. I completely get that. So let's do this. 2 fun things before we get to rapid fire question is 1, give me a bold statement of either about Long Beach Poly, what you guys might do this season, or give me a bold statement about your future career.
For Long Beach Poly, we're going to win state this year.
I like it. Calling your shot. And then what would be a message you'd give to young athletes at home?
Just keep working hard.
Let's do some rapid fire questions. First one, favorite musical artist?
Ooh. I'd probably say James Arthur.
Okay, that's a different one. I like it.
Yeah.
What is your favorite meal?
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, that's a good one. Now, would you say sausage biscuits and gravy, or like a cream chicken and biscuits?
Sausage.
Ooh, I dig it. If you were an animal, what animal would you be?
A lion.
A lion? The greatest quarterback of all time that isn't Tom Brady or Peyton Manning?
John Elway.
I like it. If you could be dropped onto an NFL team right now today and you were the starting quarterback, what NFL team would you want to be dropped on? Like, what surrounding talent would you love to play with?
I would say the Rams.
There you go. Staying home. Mom and dad come watch you. How far are you away from LA?
About, I'd say a little less than an hour.
There you go. I like it, man. If you could chill with one celebrity for the day, who would you chill with?
J. Cole.
Oh, I love J. Cole, man. It's a cool world. I love it. What is a job that you would never want to do?
Oh, work in a cubicle.
Oh, yeah. You kind of like that interaction with people?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you on that. What are you afraid
of? Rats and mice.
Dude, I live out in the country, so like you're close to LA, so I'm sure you're, in at least some kind of people around you. I live completely by myself. I can't see anybody around me. So we get field mice all the time around our house. My dogs are eating them and it's crazy. So if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you travel to?
Probably to Egypt to see the pyramids.
It's an interesting one. If you order a burger, what do you get on your burger?
I'm lame. I just do cheese and patty.
You're not even getting a condiment?
Well, sometimes ketchup, sometimes.
Oh, might get crazy and get some ketchup on there.
Yeah.
What is your favorite fast food restaurant?
I would say Carl's Jr., but they got a little too expensive for me, so I think I would say Arby's.
Arby's? Okay. See, out on the east, we call it Hardee's. So Carl's Jr., Hardee's, same thing. And then, so let's say you go big time, you make the NFL. Who is your celebrity crush? So like, what celebrity crush you rolling up in their DMs? Who are you trying to hit up?
Oh, I mean, I'd probably say Selena Gomez.
Okay, you're gonna be hitting her up. I like it, man. Maybe you're gonna blow up after the show. So that's it, man. Just hit her up tonight. There you go. No, I appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, if you get a chance, guys, watch this guy's huddle film. I've even thought about trying to take some huddle film, put it on my YouTube channel so it's a little bit more accessible to people. But he's a great young talent. He's representing in Cali right now. Smart kid on the field, off the field. It clearly shows. So yeah, he's definitely one of those kids that I'm a fan of, and definitely check him out on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. And I appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate it for having me.
No problem at all. No problem at all. And if you guys like the episode, click like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.